Bueno, muy buenos días. Quiero comenzar agradeciéndole a Carlos Díaz Trujillo, a Carlos Díaz Rosillo por su invitación, igual que a Julia por permitirme estar aquí con ustedes. En nombre del Ministerio de Industria, Comercio y MIPYMES de la República Dominicana y en representación de nuestro gobierno, me complace profundamente estar aquí en este foro que reúne a líderes que están dando forma al futuro. Hoy quiero hablarles de un país que ha desafiado las adversidades y que se ha reinventado y ahora emerge como un destino irresistible para la inversión global. La base sólida de República Dominicana ha construido durante décadas, ha encontrado nuevas dimensiones en los últimos 4 años bajo el liderazgo del presidente Luis Abinader. Y este progreso, sin lugar a dudas, que refleja una estabilidad, como también refleja una transformación estratégica impulsada por una visión de desarrollo sostenible y competitivo que se ha derivado en lo que muchos llaman el milagro dominicano. República Dominicana ha pasado de ser conocida como la joya caribeña a convertirse en un ejemplo de resiliencia económica y de un liderazgo estratégico en América Latina. Nuestro crecimiento no es casualidad. Durante las últimas décadas hemos superado considerablemente el promedio regional y tras la pandemia logramos una recuperación ejemplar en 2024 y de acuerdo con el Banco Mundial y el Fondo Monetario Internacional alcanzaremos un crecimiento de 5,1%, el cual sin lugar a dudas es el más alto de toda la región, duplicando el promedio de los demás países. Esto, más que un dato, es un reflejo de un modelo económico que cambia con disciplina, con visión, con estabilidad y seguridad jurídica. También el Standard & Poor's ha elevado nuestra calificación crediticia a BB apenas la semana pasada, consolidando nuestra posición como un destino confiable para la inversión extranjera. Este progreso se refleja en el aumento de la inversión extranjera directa, que experimenta un crecimiento interanual de un 7,1%, como resultó en el año 2023, representando el 41% de los flujos recibidos en toda Centroamérica. Estados Unidos, para nosotros, sigue siendo nuestro principal socio, con un promedio de 30% de las inversiones captadas durante la última década. Estimados amigos, en un mundo que busca cadenas de suministro más resilientes y confiables, República Dominicana emerge como la respuesta estratégica del fenómeno del nearshoring, convirtiéndose en el puente ideal entre América y el resto del mundo, aprovechando nuestras ventajas competitivas y nuestra conectividad de clase mundial. República Dominicana, con 8 aeropuertos internacionales y más de 182 vuelos diarios que nos conectan directamente con más de 69 países y 170 destinos internacionales, colocándonos apenas a 2 horas de vuelo desde Santo Domingo a Miami. República Dominicana garantiza una conexión rápida y eficiente con los principales mercados. En el ámbito marítimo, nuestro país fue considerado por la Conferencia de las Naciones Unidas sobre Comercio y Desarrollo como la 6ª mejor conectividad portuaria de toda la región, con infraestructura que movilizan para el año pasado un impresionante volumen de carga de 2.3 millones de TEUs, reflejando nuestra capacidad de logística, llegando a tan solo 1 o 2 días de distancia de navegación a la Florida, dependiendo del punto donde se salga de la República Dominicana. Definitivamente, República Dominicana, además de infraestructura, es un modelo de agilidad y de eficiencia. A través de iniciativas como Burocracia Cero y Despacho 24 Horas, hemos simplificado procesos y creado un ambiente propicio para los negocios, eliminando barreras innecesarias y acelerando la forma de decisiones. Además, el gobierno, en colaboración con el sector privado,
driven several initiatives such as the law of logistic centers. And the question is, what does this mean? It means that the Dominican Republic, more than one destination to think of for the future, is a place to invest now, today. This advantage, coordinated with young human talent, very skilled, such as well as our geographic proximity to the US, reduces significantly the logistics costs, delivery time, putting the Dominican Republic as a destination which is very competitive compared to other options. Dear friends, over 850 companies operate in our franc zone, producing cigarettes made manually and high technology medical devices. We are the exporter number one of tobacco handmade, and we have consolidated our position as the number three best importer of medical devices to the United States of America. Besides our regimen of franc zone, of duty-free zone with incentives, that has transformed the Dominican Republic, and we've become not only one tourist power, but a platform for technology, bringing Medtronic, Javid, V. Brown, Vectum Dixon, Vac Baxter, Eaton, Rockwell, Hildem, Haynes, among many others. These results reflect more than 50 years of a duty-free regimen, which is efficient, turning the nearshoring into a reality for the Dominican Republic. Examples such as Eaton, JLV, and V. Brown, they reflect how the multinational companies find in our country a place to operate, becoming strategic partners for their own growth when they select the Dominican Republic to expand, to innovate, and to lead their respective industries. The example of Eaton, leader of technological devices, that in 2020 went to the Dominican Republic with a key line with frequency variators from Asia, and recently launched a new plant. Has advanced with 300 new qualified jobs, and some years ago opened the first center of design for research and industrial research in all Latin America, operating from the Dominican Republic. JLV is a multinational company specialized in design and product management. They installed themselves in 2021 to produce precision medical devices in our countries, and has achieved great operations recently to conclude the implementation of their products. Edcam Medical, that's another reference in medical devices. They decided to expand their operations, and for that, they chose the Dominican Republic. On the same token, Garwar, a company that is from India, is preparing the launching of a plant of medical devices and products next year, which is the main and first investment in the duty-free zone of the Dominican Republic. No doubt we are building the future with vision and purpose. Our next huge step is positioning ourselves in the industry of the semiconductors, one of the most dynamic industries worldwide, under the leadership of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, and MSMEs, and with the support of the President, we are developing this strategy to foster this industry of semiconductors. This will diversify our industrial capabilities and will put us up there in innovation and technology. Dear friends, for those who already know us, thank you for trusting us And for those who still have not experienced our possibilities, I invite you all personally to discover a country where stability, security, and innovation converge to offer the best of the present and the future. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to share with Mr. Roberto a few words. Good morning. It's a pleasure being here with all of you and being here with Víctor Bisonó from the Dominican Republic. Thanks for your presentation and welcome to Miami. Well, it's my pleasure, especially now, being able to talk to you. Yes, we're all very interested in what is happening in the Dominican Republic. Actually, for the people that know Latin America, the Dominican Republic is a secret. The success that you have achieved in terms of economic growth, political stability, that's one of the most successful countries in the Americas, we could say that. And our presentation today is focused on those topics, supply chain for companies. Could you describe, sir, what functions the Dominican Republic plays in the supply chain lines towards the US, Canada, and other areas of Latin America? Of course. First, in 2020, the new government took over and we are part of it. That's led by a professional who is young. He's an economist with a nice vision of a private-public alliance. That's our president. And that's something that makes us understand that we have to provide trust, we have to be reliable, and we have to eliminate that obstacle of bureaucracy for these organizations. That's what we've done, and then after, for years, we can talk with our presentation card that brings realities. These are not just political discourses. This, along with some inconveniences or some points for improvement that the pandemic brought with the interruption of the supply chain and those reliable chains. That's the nearshoring. And we also say that the friendshoring among friends, because it's not only the pandemic or the Suez canal that was an accident of a boat that would impede the supply. So also the competitiveness, what's happening between China and the United States, that positions countries of the Americas in a place to get opportunities to generate products for the consumption in the United States, and besides that, being closer regardless of commercial competition. And the Dominican Republic has been a significant part of that growth that we are seeing today. Minister, you also mentioned now that you've achieved great success with the development of medical instruments and technical devices in the Dominican Republic. And you also mentioned the success of the duty-free zone. So that it would be good for the audience to get to know the benefits that they can have when they establish a business in a duty-free zone such as the Dominican Republic. Yes, we have duty-free regimen, and that has been there for over 50 years. Is the most complete in the entire region because 100%, it's 100% of taxes charges. Other neighboring countries, I mean, they get the exemption for 10 years, 15 years, partially, but us, besides having 100% of exemption, we have a young population. Our total population is 11 million people, and most of them are young, less than 50 years of age, and they have the possibility of learning and insert themselves and bring experience and human talent to work on this. We've been able to seize that regimen, and we've been able to grow. To give you an example to illustrate, 30 years ago we were 90% textile, and today that sector is only 10%. We are the number 2 provider of medical devices to the United States. If today you go to a hospital and they're going to put some stitches on you, that material is produced in the Dominican Republic. Hopefully that doesn't happen to any of you, but if they are going to do some treatment with a catheter or some treatment in your heart, it could be made in the Dominican Republic, that material, that pacemaker that they will insert in you. The first vaccine, fast vaccine that circulated when COVID was created by Javid in the Dominican Republic. The electronic devices that come to the US, the number 3 provider, that's from the supplier, number 3 supplier is from the Dominican Republic. Those are the levels of efficiency, technology, and trust that are shown by the production in the Dominican Republic. That's why we're going to the chips, the semiconductors now. In the United States, that factory is being mobilized, but the ATP and testing and packaging and also all the logistics that comes after that, that's not done in the United States. They do not have the capabilities to do that. And sending that back to Asia is not an option. The countries, the Latin American countries, are seeing that, and Dominican Republic and some of their countries are being considered due to their geographic location and the way that we're working now. That makes us a main option. You made a reference to the human capital in the Dominican Republic, and we ourselves, as attorneys, we've seen many clients that are establishing operations in the Dominican Republic due to the facility of hiring people with technical skills and a level of education that is needed to establish companies there. Can you elaborate about that human capital, the youth that you mentioned already? That's correct. Not only the local availability. For example, we have an agreement with the University of Purdue. We have consulting with MIT, an alliance with the University of Texas, also with the EOI, which is an institution from the Spanish state, and we have an alliance to prepare what companies and foreign investments need, and also to focus our human capital on the right need for the demands of these investments. And as I was telling you before we started this, recently this operation came about in the Dominican Republic, and that's a powerful signal to us that shows the reliability of our country. Edward, that's one of the main companies of medical devices in the United States, and they just sold their operation in the Dominican Republic to Dixon Erickson, if I'm not mistaken. And Dixon and another American company for $1,000 billion. Nobody will do that if they do not trust us, and without due diligence, without economic stability, financial stability on the long term. And that's the best example, the best proof that we are capable to keep on strengthening the industry. You also mentioned the matter of microchips as an area for expansion for those companies that are taking part in the supply chain lines worldwide, let's say, because that's throughout the Americas. What other opportunities besides those electronic devices besides the medical equipment, the microchips, what other opportunities do you see in the Dominican Republic for other multinational companies that are looking to the business? Well, all types. In the audience, we have friends of Carlos Diaz, and that's foreign investments in the Dominican Republic. Jaime Bonifacio, I see him right now. He's from Guatemala, from the Campolo family. They manage and they have a farm. They are in the sugar production, and they are now with a project of doing ethanol, just like in Guatemala and Costa Rica. That's very important, in my opinion. And there are other types of investments. We have brands, worldwide brands, such as the one for tobacco. For years ago, we were exporting $900 million, and now we are in uh, $1,300 million. We are number one in the world. Um, we are number one also in rum. In Spain, one of our brands that sells more like any other liquor. So uh, that's from the Dominican Republic. We also have agriculture with avocado, banana, and tropical fruits. Just to give you an example of something that is outside the duty-free zone. Besides that, we are exporters of many products of things that are manufactured in the Dominican Republic. And I also want to take the opportunity to mention the vision for this new administration of President Trump with a Latin American person, who is Marco Rubio. He was nominated, and obviously he's here from Florida. So many of the people that Trump chose are from Florida. And number two, that is with Trump in the Department of State is someone who knows well Latin America because he lived in Paraguay, Venezuela, and El Salvador and studied there. So it looks to me that this administration is going to bring the proper attention to LATAM and everything that is Latin America. Perhaps because of the influence of China and their interests, they just inaugurated a huge port in Peru, and that's the main partner of Chile, and also in Venezuela with the people from Iran. And what happens to the U.S. 2 days ago in the Dominican Republic? 9 tons of cocaine were captured in one shipment. They were going to the United States. We are the barrier of what other countries produce in Latin America, but we also keep those things from getting to the United States.
The illegal immigration, which is a concern, they come from some Latin countries, and we can stop that as well. And what countries represent social, economic, and political stability? And we are an example to other Latin countries such as Guatemala, Honduras, Salvador, because we still don't know, Haiti. They have just killed almost 200 elderly a couple of days ago, or what's going on in Venezuela, for example. So I believe that with the Trump administration, they're gonna pay special attention not only to their partners in nearshoring, manufacturing, and investment, but also to everything related to security, generally speaking. Yes, we were speaking outside about this. There is a lot of enthusiasm within us, the Latin American community. We live in Latin America, or we are involved in Latin America, working with our partners and with our families in LATAM. And I do believe that there are positive expectations with the assignment of Marco Rubio. And this is connected to the geopolitics. Not only speaking about the DR, because I believe that this is going to have an impact throughout the region. We have seen that in Mexico, for example, they became the main exporter and importer to and from the United States. It's a very important trade relationship that is going to go to the rest of the region. How do you see this, not only for the Dominican Republic, but also for the region as a whole? This is extremely important, and President Trump has been spoken about raising the tariffs to Canada and Mexico if he is not going to be able to make Canada a state. But it is important to prevent dumping of China. When they started speaking about nearshoring, the Asian investment said, well, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to position in other region. And they first went to Mexico with the textile, and the Chinese are coming into the United States through Mexico. And this is not the nearshoring that the United States want. They just want to prevent or to stop migration and to have reliable supplies, but they don't want to work with the Chinese capital. That's why they said, I'm going to increase your tariffs because you're bringing to me Chinese capital products. So countries such as Costa Rica, Panama, the DR, Ecuador, we have a partnership, and the four of us are the third largest economy after Mexico and Brazil. So these four countries will be able to grow with this healthy investment for the United States. And we have a positive balance, trade balance, opposite to Mexico. Mexico's export more product than what they import from the United States, and the same goes for Brazil. So I see this partnership and a development for Latin America. We don't have a war. We have crime, but not at the levels of other regions. We have a great natural resources in the region, and we can offer more opportunities to receive U.S. capital. So we are going to have a win-win situation. Okay, we ran out of time, Minister. It's been our pleasure to share this stage with you, and we hope that in the next conversations that we hope that everything that we are expecting uh, come true. You have the ambassador, Miss Branson. We expect that she comes back to the Dominican Republic if you want to speak about our country in more detail. And I'm here for you as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.